What's up, guys? We are back, and in today's video we are talking about the Swords of Justice trio that are coming into raids in Pokemon Go. Unfortunately, Lugia is leaving raids today, November 16th. I don't know how you feel about that, but I still need myself a shiny Lugia. I've done over like 40 raids probably and still no shiny Lugia. So I got a couple hours to grind this thing out and try to get myself a shiny. But today we are talking about, again, the Swords of Justice trio, which is Terrakion, Virizion, and Cobalion, which are coming into raids today, November 16th. We are going to go over all the details, including the dates, the 100% IVs, the counters, and we are going to overview all three of these Pokemon to see which one of these you should be going after. I know a lot of you guys are new, you have limited raid passes, you don't have the money to be buying all these bundles and tons of raid passes. So the question might come up of which one of these three should you go after, which one of these three are the best, which one should you focus on and spend your free raid passes on. So that's what we're going to go over in today's video, so let's go ahead and get started. So again, these three Pokemon will be available to challenge in 5-star raids from November 16th at 1 o'clock p.m. all the way until November 24th at 1 o'clock p.m. So we have a little more than a week to go ahead and take these three Pokemon down. Now, as far as raid hour, which happens every Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. When these legendaries are out, I'm not sure how they're going to do raid hour with all three of these Pokemon out. I'm pretty sure they're just going to be spawning all of these Pokemon at once during that raid hour. So it's probably going to be kind of hard to focus on one Pokemon and try to find, let's say you're going after Terrakion. It's probably going to be a little difficult to go out and try to find yourself a bunch of Terrakion during raid hour. Again, I'm not sure exactly how they're going to work that, but just keep that in mind. We will have raid hour on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock p.m. As far as the counters and the 100% IV for each of these Pokemon, right here we have Terrakion, which is a rock and a fighting type Pokemon. The 100% IV non-weather boosted is 2113. Now, if you do get partly cloudy or cloudy weather, you are going to be looking for 2641 on the 100% IV. The best counters for Terrakion are going to be right here at the bottom. So we got Mewtwo with Psycho Cut and Psy Strike, Mega Blastoise with Water Gun and Hydro Cannon, Metagross with Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash, Latios, Zen Headbutt and Psychic. We have Jirachi with Confusion and Doom Desire, and we have Conkeldurr with Counter and Dynamic Punch. Those are the best counters for the Terrakion. And of course, there is the shiny version as well, which looks really, really good. Surprisingly, all three of these shinies look really good, so you definitely want to go after these shinies. For the Cobalion, this is going to be a steel and a fighting type Pokemon. Non-weather boosted 100% IV is 1727. If you are in snowy or cloudy weather, you are going to be looking for 2159. Top counters for Cobalion are Mega Charizard X and Y with Fire Spin and Blast Burn, Reshiram with Fire Fang and Overheat, Lucario, Counter and Aura Sphere. We have Conkeldurr with Counter and Dynamic Punch, Chandelure with Fire Spin and Overheat, and then we have Darmanitan with Fire Fang and Overheat as well. Again, there is a shiny right there on the Cobalion. And then we have Virizion, which is a grass and a fighting type Pokemon. 100% IV is 1727 as well on the Virizion. Boosted under sunny and cloudy weather, so we will get a lot of weather boosted Virizions here. That one is 2159. The top counters for Virizion are Mega Pidgeot with Gust and Brave Bird, Moltres with Wing Attack and Sky Attack, Honchkrow, we have Peck and Sky Attack, we have the Rayquaza with the Air Slash and the Aerial Ace, we have Staraptor with Wing Attack and Brave Bird, and then we have the Tornadus with the Air Slash and the Hurricane. There is the shiny variants of the Virizion right there. All right, so now that you know the 100% IVs and the top counters for all three of these Pokemon, we are going to compare these things side by side and see which one of these you should be focusing on and using your raid passes on. Before we get started, hopefully you don't hear that big old lawnmower in the back. They just decided to start cutting this grass with these big ride-on lawnmowers. So hopefully you guys don't hear too much of that noise. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump right into the comparison on these three Pokemon. So first, we are gonna look at the fighting type Pokemon because all three of these Pokemon do have a fighting type attack. So we are gonna compare them in the fighting type category to see where they stand. Realistically, we're probably not gonna be using these as a fighting type attacker, although one of these do come out pretty high in the fighting type category. There is some fighting type that are a little bit better, but we're gonna jump right into it and see where these things stand as far as fighting type attackers go. Coming in the number 1 spot is Conkeldurr with counter and dynamic punch. The DPS is 17.53. Again, DPS is damage per second. Then we have the TDO, which is total damage output. That is how much damage that Pokemon is doing over the life of the Pokemon. And then we have the total, which mixes the DPS and the TDO. So for Conkeldurr, we have the DPS at 17, we have TDO at 744, with a total of 4,008, which you see right here. It blows the rest of these fighting type Pokemon out of the water. We have Lucario at number 2 with counter and Aura Sphere, 18 for the DPS, 535 for TDO, and 3250 with the total. So that one is quite a bit under the Conkeldurr, but it's still in the number 2 spot. Then we have Machamp with counter and dynamic punch, 16 for the DPS, 619 for TDO, and 2634 on the total. So you can see these things are starting to drop pretty significantly. And then we have Cobalion coming in the number 4 spot for the fighting type Pokemon. This one has Metal Claw, which is a steel type move, with a Sacred Sword fighting move. This one has a DPS of 14, TDO of 778 with a total of 2307. And then if we drop all the way down to the number 6 spot, we have Terrakion with Smackdown and Close Combat as a fighting move. This one has a DPS of 14, a TDO of 669, and a total of 2,066. And then for the Virizion, we have to drop all the way down to the 2nd page in the number 15 spot with Quick Attack and Close Combat. This one has a DPS of 1058, a TDO of 573 with a total of 679 compared to the 4,008 with the Conkeldurr. So you can see Virizion is way down in the list in the fighting type category. So you can see Cobalion sits in the number 4 spot, but we have way better fighting type Pokemon with the Conkeldurr, Lucario, and Machamp coming in all on top of the Cobalion. So again, realistically, we're not going to be using any of these as a fighting type, although you might be able to get away with the Cobalion if for some reason you don't have any of these other 3 that are better than the Cobalion. So that is where all 3 of these Pokemon sit in the fighting type category. So now let's go ahead and break down each of these Pokemon individually and see where they fit in best. So Terrakion is going to be best as a rock type attacker. So this is where Terrakion sits compared to the other rock type attackers in the game. So if we look here at the rock type attackers, we can see Rhyperior comes in the number 1 spot with Smackdown and Rock Wrecker, which you guys should have tons of these from the community day that we had. This one has a total DPS of 15, TDO of 835 with a total of 3,091. We have Rampardos with Smackdown and Rock Slide, 17 DPS, 501 TDO with a 2683 total. Then we have Tyranitar with Smackdown and Stone Edge, 14 on the DPS, 789 on the TDO, and a total of 2638. And then in the number 4 spot, we have Terrakion with Smackdown and Rock Slide, 14.99 on the DPS, 688 on the TDO with a total of 2317. So this one does sit really high in the rock type category. Again, you probably do have a lot of Rhyperiors and Tyranitars that you can go ahead and max out and utilize, but Terrakion is still a really good option in the rock type category if you don't have any good ones of these other rock types. So I would say Terrakion is a very strong contender in the rock type category. So I would definitely go after these Terrakions to try to get yourself a good IV one of these. And then we are going to look at the Cobalion in the steel type category. We already saw where it sat in the fighting type, but here is where it stands alongside other steel type Pokemon. So looking at the top steel type Pokemon here, we have Metagross coming in at number 1 with Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash, 16 on the DPS, 835 on the TDO, with a total of 4,043. We have Dialga, Metal Claw, Iron Head, total 3432. We have Jirachi at 3,114 total. So we have to go all the way to the 2nd page. In the number 7 spot, we have Cobalion right here with Metal Claw and Sacred Sword, 14 on the DPS, 778 TDO with a total of 2307. So it's almost twice as low as the number 1 spot of the Metagross right there. So Cobalion is all the way down in the number 7 spot in the steel type category, with Metagross taking over the number 1 spot. So you can see right there, you're not really going to want to use Cobalion as a steel type Pokemon with all these other steel type Pokemon way on top of it and just crushing it out of the park in the steel type category. And then we move on to Virizion in the grass type category. Let's go ahead and compare Virizion with other top grass type attackers in the game. So if we look at the number 1 spot, we have Mega Venusaur coming in with Razor Leaf, Frenzy Plant with a total of 4,216. Then we have Shaman, which is not out yet. So technically Tangrowth comes in the number 2 spot with Vine Whip and Solar Beam, 14 DPS, 685 TDO with a total of 2,087. So for Virizion in the grass type category, we would have to go to the second page, all the way in the number 10 spot with Quick Attack and Leaf Blade. This one has a DPS of 12.85, a TDO of 696 with a total of 1476, which comes in way lower than the Venusaur at 4216. If we're looking at non-mega Pokemon, we would go down to the Tangrowth. That one has a total of 2,087, so that one is still significantly above the Virizion at 1,476 total. So that is where all 3 of these Pokemon stand head to head in their respective categories. But before we go with my recommendation and what I think as far as who you should be going after, let's go ahead and look at all 3 of these Pokemon in PvP if you are into PvP. See where these things stand, because one of these is surprisingly really good in PvP. So Terrakion, when it comes to PvP, is not going to be one of the Pokemon that you're going to want to use. Terrakion comes in at number 324 in the Ultra League, and then in the Master League it comes in at 114. If for some reason you want to use it in the Master League, since it is ranked 114, you are going to want Smackdown, Close Combat, and Rock Slide as far as the moveset goes. For the top IVs that you're going to want in this league right here is going to be a perfect Terrakion at 15, 15, 15. So you're going to want 100% Terrakion to go ahead and use in the Master League. You can see the rest of the IVs there. Those are the top 10 IV sets that you're going to want for the Master League. And then if we are looking at Cobalion, Cobalion here comes in the Ultra League at 111. It is ranked number 60 in the Master League. So I would definitely use Cobalion in the Master League if you are into that league right there. You're going to want Metal Claw, Sacred Sword, and Stone Edge as far as the moveset goes for the Cobalion. And here is a top IV set for the Cobalion right here. You're going to want to look for a 100% IV at 15, 15, 15. You can take a look at the other top 10 IV sets right there for the Cobalion. So you are going to be looking for a perfect Cobalion for the Master League. And then moving on to the Virizion, this one surprised me quite a bit right here. So Virizion is going to be pretty beastly in both the Ultra League and the Master League. It is ranked number 41 in the Ultra League and number 45 in the Master League. Now, if you are going to be using it for the Ultra League, it is going to be kind of hard to come across the IV sets for this one. You are going to want a 0, 14, 15 in the number 1 spot, which obviously it's going to be kind of hard to come across a 0, 14, 15 when you are out raiding. You are going to want to trade this thing with people that you have lower friendship with, so you have a chance of getting a low attack on the Virizion. Again, it is going to be kind of challenging to get that IV set, but it is doable if you trade these things enough. But you are going to want to use this thing in the Master League as well. In the number 45 spot, IV sets are going to be a lot more doable. You are going to want a perfect IV set at 15, 15, 15. Again, there are the other top IV sets for Virizion in the Master League. So obviously, it is going to be a lot more doable to go ahead and get a 15, 15, 15 while you're out raiding for the Virizion instead of getting the 0, 14, 15. But again, Virizion, pretty beastly in both of these leagues, so you can go ahead and utilize them in Ultra League and Master League. So as far as PvP goes, Virizion definitely takes the trophy as far as these 3 Pokemon head-to-head go in the PvP scene. So that is how these Pokemon are looking side to side in their respective category, along with head-to-head in PvP. So now that you know where all of these stand, What are you guys' thoughts on this Pokemon? Me personally, I'm going to be going after Terrakion only because it is a really good rock type attacker. It is in the top 5 in that category. Cobalion and Virizion, again, they do have their spots in PvP. But me personally, I do not do Master League or Ultra League. So there's no use for me to go out and try to get some of these for those leagues when I don't battle in the Master League or Ultra League. If that is your thing, I would be definitely looking for the Virizion in the Master League, again with 15, 15, 15 IVs. So if you guys have very limited raid passes, if you don't have tons of raid passes, you're wondering which ones to go after, I would definitely go after Terrakion as a rock type attacker. You will be definitely using this one more in raids and stuff like that. If you are more into PvP, go after Virizion. So I would personally say go after Terrakion as much as possible, and then Virizion if you want to use it in PvP. And the last one that I would focus on is a Cobalion. Unless, of course, you want to get shinies of all 3 of these, then you're definitely going to want to be going after all 3 of these for the shiny form. If you're not a huge shiny chaser, go after the Terrakion. Focus all your raid passes for this week or so that we have them in raids. Go after the Terrakion, get yourself a good one of those, and you'll be happy that you did because it is a pretty beastly rock type attacker. So that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I know that was a lot of information to go after, but I want to get you guys ready and best utilize your guys' resources that you guys have. Let me know in the comments your guys' thoughts. Let me know which one of these you are going to be going after. That is going to do it for today's video. I appreciate it if you drop a like if you do like this content. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And I will catch you guys on the next one.